Hey guys, I'm Can, or most of you will know me, True Reset on Tumblr, or AmberBlaze223 on YouTube. I was asked how exactly I get my art to have that soft painted look, and I realized that in my last couple of speed paints it either moves too fast or the program blocks out the layers, so I decided to record a video where I explain how I color and how I paint in detail. The brushes I use will be linked in the description, so here we go. So I've already done the sketch here. I did a waist up of Kara because their design is a simple one that I'm really familiar with because I draw them all the time. You can either keep your drawing as a sketch or go ahead and continue to the lines. I found that lines, of course, result in a cleaner final drawing, but I'm lazy, so I almost always stop at the sketch. First thing I do is move it all into folders, and I set the sketch layer on multiply. This isn't something you'll need to do if your sketch is true black, but because my lines are usually a brown or rust color, setting it on multiply just saves a lot of work. In another folder under the lines is where I start coloring. I use mostly flat colors in this folder. Then I put another folder over that entire folder with the lines and colors, and that's where I put the multiply layer. I don't really do much here. Most of my shading is done in the overlay folder, which you'll see in a minute, because I found it makes the shading much less muddy. I do a quick block of shading with like a desaturated red to establish the light source, and in another layer use a desaturated blue as well. This just tends to give more color to the shading. Over that is where I put the luminosity layer. I don't tend to do much here for the same reason as the shading, just a general block of light to establish light source and then some details to further that. I found that Tavros's blood color is actually really good for lighting. I guess Homestuck was good for something after all. As you can tell, I noticed something wrong with my drawing, but instead of fixing the lines and having to adjust all the colors and everything, I decided to just deal with it later. Once I'm satisfied, I then make those folders invisible and move to my favorite part, overlay. This is where most of the colors in my pieces come in, and it's just fun in general. Keeping the folder on normal for now, I'll bucket tool that same brown color and then lock opacity. This helps keep it all solid when I blend in all the colors in a second. I'll lower the opacity so that I can sort of see what I'm coloring over and block in a bright purple and a dark desaturated blue as well as an orange. You don't have to use these colors specifically, but I like these the best. Once it's all blended together, then I'll turn the folder to overlay and adjust opacity to taste. Then I use the same dark blue to place shadows and orange for lighting. I'll also use this opportunity to color correct in areas I feel are too desaturated or boring. Then I'll put the luminosity and multiply layers back on. This is where you see the full effect of the coloring. It's pretty neat. It all looks really messy now, but that's fine because I'll be painting over it anyway. I mess around with the opacity on the luminosity and multiply folders until I'm satisfied. Once that's done, I like to go back into overlay and bucket tool a color over the entire thing. This is just sort of to tint the entire painting that color, so this can really be anything you want. I'm just sort of obsessed with warmer orange hues, so that's what I go with most of the time. This is when the painting starts. I'll merge everything into one layer and switch to my painting brush. This is a good time to fix any proportion mistakes or anything else. I always paint deep to high. Basically, I'll start at the part of the drawing that's sort of covered by other things and end with the parts that aren't. This helps give paintings depth. From this point on, I pretty much exclusively use the eyedrop tool to pick my colors. Size of the brush also affects the texture of the painting. The smaller sizes are good for blending, while bigger sizes are better for moving colors around, so keep that in mind depending on how stylistic you want your painting to be. And that's pretty much it. I hope that was helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, rate, and subscribe. Again, you can find my Tumblr at True Reset, and I hope this was helpful. Bye!